The House has approved a bill that would stop sudden credit card hikes and tighten rules on late fees that keep millions of consumers in debt.
Joining us is bankruptcy attorney Robert Semrad. First of all, what's your thoughts on this new credit card bill?
It's a joke.
Why is it a joke?
You know, it's called the Cardholder Bill of Rights. And being a bankruptcy attorney, I was interested in reading it. And after reading it yesterday, it should have been really titled, Cardholders, You Still Have No Rights.
Really? Why is that?
Well, first of all, what people don't realize is that the Federal Reserve already passed this legislation last December. So everything that was passed yesterday was already in effect. And more importantly, if there's any provision in there that are going to help people, it's not going to take effect for another year.
So what's the end result of that?
The end result is Congress told the banks you have 12 more months to gouge people before these are going to take effect.
12 months, that's critical. I mean, the people are on the brink in many cases of just...
It is. And what they didn't do, and what should have been there, is a cap on what the interest rates are. In Illinois, we have usury laws. I can't loan you money at an interest rate of higher than 9%. This was to stop loan sharks. But they exempt banks from these laws. So now loan sharks, all they did was put on a shirt and tie, and they opened up banks. And now, instead of being on the street corners, we're carrying them around in our back pockets.
Where does the responsibility therein lie with the consumer and not these banks, not the credit card companies? Where does the consumer take some kind of responsibility for their own actions?
Well, I think right now the consumers are, they're taking responsibility, but what responsibility does the consumer have to all of a sudden they receive a notice that their interest rate has jumped from 6% to 35%, even though they've never missed a payment on that credit card? So I'm not sure what responsibility they really owe right now.
Well, I see what you're saying, but it's the whole, buy now, pay later.
Right.
Kind of the American way these days.
That's always been the American way, but what's really going on right now is late fees, $25. Over the limit fees, $50. Having Congress in your back pocket, priceless.
So how about this? How about don't get a credit card? How about that? How about people just quit using credit cards altogether?
That's what's happening right now. What's happening, this is the first quarter where debit cards are actually being used more than credit cards. I think that would be great for America. That's what I talk about at my financial seminars all the time. Pay with cash, pay as you go. I wish Congress would do that.
That's what our grandparents, right, exactly.
Is there an element here, though, that where some of these banks are trying to make up for perhaps some of their shortfalls through the consumer?
Sure, and that's what's happening with Congress. I think Congress loaned the banks billions of dollars. And the reason these laws aren't going to take effect for 12 months, I think they're saying, hey, we're going to give you 12 months to try to pay us back. Then we'll have these laws take effect.
Robert, let's talk about Chrysler for a moment here. What does the bankruptcy filing mean?
Mainly for consumers, it doesn't mean anything. The warranties are still going to be backed by the government, so you don't have to worry about if you own a Chrysler, if you're about to buy a Chrysler, whether or not the warranty will be there. The administration has come out and said they will back the warranties. They're also going to make sure that replacement parts will be available. So for the consumer, if you want to buy a Chrysler, you still should. This bankruptcy law will have no effect on it.
Final question, can you get a free car for the Elwood family in my own stimulus package? Can you negotiate that for me?
Well, I think what's interesting, too, is that with all the bailouts going on, who's to say a company won't get the bailout and then claim bankruptcy just a few weeks later? We'll be able to retrieve some of those funds.
Right. And you know what?
Will we? Will we get the funds back from Chrysler?
Well, with Chrysler, this bankruptcy, what people have to realize, this is Chapter 11. They're not liquidating. This hopefully will help them actually survive the economic times right now.
So it says to the people who they owe money to, hey, we're going to wipe this clean 30 to 60 days and start all over from there?
Well, you know what? The hedge funds right now are the ones that force them into bankruptcy because they didn't want 35 cents on the dollar. The administration said that they were holding off for a more profitable deal. Well, it's not profits. They're losing money here, but hopefully the bondholders may get 50 or 60 cents on the dollar, which is much better off than many investors are getting right now.
Robert Semrad, bankruptcy attorney, we thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's 8:28.